Speaking of very quick, do you want to hear about my Orange Theory conquest?
I would love to hear about your Orange. Please,
it has a backstory that's probably more interesting than the.
I want to hear all of it.
Than the front story.
I care about what you care about.
Oh, that doesn't sound right. Who are you, and what did you do with Wombat? What drugs are you on now to get you through this cold? Tea? What kind of tea is that? That mushroom tea? if you might start throwing up. Look for him to go out of frame. So I had like a physical recently, as people do, and you get like a blood test and stuff like that. And the doctor said, "Oh, they found some too much blood in your urine." Actually, like the blood was okay, but like the urine, they're like, "Oh, I need you to go to this urologist, right?" And the guy's like, "Well, we do two things when we find blood in your urine. We give you a CAT scan and we shove a camera." Oh, he didn't use these words, but we shove a camera on a tube up your dick hole and look at everything with a camera. And
so I want to get to that part. I want to hear more about that. But were you seeing blood in your urine? Or
no. It was it only came up in like the test.
Because
I was getting a test.
So trace amounts of urine.
Yes. And the guy's like, "This is the standard protocol. This is what we do. Those two things, right?"
Okay. I just wanted to set the table here to see where we were coming from.
And he's like, "Don't worry." I mean, he's like the camera in the dick sounds a lot. I mean, he didn't use these terms, but he said, "Camera in the dick is not as bad as it sounds," which immediately doesn't sound right. Like, how could that? It must be as bad as it sounds, right? But whatever. So
was it weird when they took you to the
B&H photo
to Madison Square Garden and put you on the cams on the big screen?
There wasn't that cam. No. So
it wasn't Jumbotron.
So the first part was going to this and you'll see where this gets to the Orange Theory thing. But the first part was the CAT scan, which was supposed to be like the easy thing, right? But I didn't know ahead of time that I was going to have to get an IV. And of course, like my mind did that thing where it was like, "Oh no, IV." I didn't, because like it's a fine line between like doing the research on what you're going to go through in the procedure and then freaking
out about it
from doing just reading about it, and then or like freaking out about it, just finding out about it on the spot. So I went with just going on the spot. And they said about the IV, and they started doing it to me, and I guess I fainted again because they were waking me up with the smelling salts. But whatever, they made me feel very good about it. They were like, this happens all the time. We even have to keep the smelling salts right here. I feel like I should. By the way, Ship, you may want to do this. Just carry some smelling salts around with you. And if you feel yourself getting weak, you just crack one of those bad boys. I'm thinking about trying to order those off of Amazon.
Sure. I feel like
you got it under control?
I know enough to control it at this point. I know what the triggers are. I know the early warning signs and how to unwind those.
I should have told them before and like just had them like lie me down.
And the IV was just to put that liquid in so they could see stuff. Right?
Exactly.
It's not even like a thing. But
they were just putting the IV in and then once they get you to the thing, I think then they. But anyway, I do that thing where I, pass out. And by the way, the amount of fucking water that comes out of me is completely unbelievable. Like,
oh, when you pass out?
Yes. Like,
yeah.
Like as wet as if I went into a pool and just came out. I mean, not that, and then like dripped for a little bit. Like,
yeah, that's your body saying, "Look at this asshole."
Right. Like, so everything that I touched for this procedure was just wet with my sweat. Super gross. Anyway, so like
I find that's a key. You got to tell them ahead of time that that's a possibility, because it also relaxes you.
Yes.
Because you're not like worried that something's going to happen because they know now
and they can take care of you. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, it takes a level off there.
Right. They were good and they took care of me, and I was able to get into the CAT scan and do all that shit. But it was the camera in the dick hole, which was something that I was a little more concerned about, because
it's a camera in your dick hole.
Camera in your dick hole, like best case. I don't know what the procedure is, but like I'm assuming they're going to inject something in your dick or something to numb it. I was wrong about that. It's some gel they put on there.
Yeah, it's going to be topical, I think.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I didn't know what was going. I didn't know. I didn't want to look at it. I just wanted to go there.
Think about that. Some
No,
guy
you
coming
don't.
with a big syringe in there.
I don't.
Novocaine.
Right. So, first of all, my plan is going in here is to tell the guy straight up like that I'm a big pussy and I'm gonna faint, you know, and have him lie me down as much as possible, but also to have my phone and watch a sketch from I Think You Should Leave, because I've had good success with doing that to distract myself. So I'm prepared for that. I even downloaded an episode that I wanted to watch. So as soon as I go into the room, there's like a big fucking chair in there, and then, you know, if the chair faces a counter, and on the counter is all the equipment that they're going to be using for the fucking procedure, and I'm like, oh no, and I just, you know, I can't look. I know I can't look at that in that direction at all. And so she was like, go piss in this cup and put it on the counter and then just wait for the doctor. So now I have to do all that without looking at the counter, which I do. And then, but like sitting in the chair, it just faces that fucking counter. So now I'm sitting in the chair just like sideways, like a weirdo, looking at the wall and looking at my phone and just trying to do anything but think about it. So, so the guy comes in, the doctor comes in, and I tell him, I explained everything to him. I got this, I'm going to watch this comedy thing, lie me down as much as possible, the fainting thing. I'm all ready to go. Just wait till I start my sketch, my comedy, my show before you do anything. Because he's got the topical gel. Like, I'm like, oh, just wait till I get the video going. He's ready to start. And meanwhile, it's the fucking worst. Like, you don't want anybody, like, you know, looking at your penis anyway. And especially in this situation. So it was all fucking horrible.
I would be like, okay, I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah.
And you don't have to answer it.
Of course.
But I know that if it was me in this situation.
Yeah.
And it's probably a little cold.
It was very cold.
Nervous.
There was no penis. I'm surprised that he could find my penis.
Okay, I'm gonna say, because my penis would probably be like, it would probably be inside my body.
Dude,
I would probably, yeah.
As worried as I would be 99% of the time about something like that, like in any other situation, it was not really on my radar at that point. At that point, I'd given up. I'm like, look, it's not... Fuck it. If the goal is to not faint, basically. And yeah, basically that's it.
Yeah.
Or get an erection.
I knew that wasn't going to happen.
You can go one of two ways with it, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, it's one of two ways.
That wasn't going to happen.
Either there's just nothing there and you're like a Ken doll with testicles.
Right.
Or
no,
it's the other thing, and you learn something new.
Who's going to get an erection in that situation? Knowing
I'm sure it happens. I'm sure it does.
Really? God, it was so
there's even
bad.
like nervous erections are a thing too.
Right. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention when I walked in the room and I saw the big chair, there was also like medical paper on the floor that was clearly there for like a mess that was expected, and I was just like, ugh. So. Doctor comes in, I explain, I got to watch the video. Now, when I chose the sketch, of course, ahead of time, I was going to choose the sketch ahead of time. I was going to leave that up to chance. So I decided I was going to watch something that I just hadn't seen in a while, like a sketch that was fairly long, and I Think You Should Leave sketch, of course, that was fairly long that I hadn't watched in a while. And I didn't think about it too much because those were the only two criteria that I thought about. And the one that I came upon was the Calico Cut Pants sketch. You familiar with that one?
Yeah, that's the one where the pee in your pants, you got to donate.
Right. Now, the doctor, right before he puts the tube in, he's like, you're going to feel like you're going to have to pee really badly. Right? And I'm like, okay, right. And so he's doing it, and I'm hitting play on the thing, and the guy, they just start talking about peeing in the pants. It's got nothing to do with pee. The doctor is hearing the video. He's like, are you watching urology humor? Like, what? He's like, what is that? And I said literally out loud, I've made a terrible mistake. And just, I'm like laughing and going, and like, because it's like, all right, I'm in your bladder now. You're going to really feel like you have to pee. And I'm just like looking on the side of my phone. I'm in your bladder
now is something I never want to hear.
I know. And I'm just like, and then, and then he was done, and I didn't faint. And he was like, you did great, and everything looked great. So then I was excited, and I knew that the Orange Theory had the rowing test today, the 200-meter row, the same day.
Wait, same day?
Same day. The test was at 9 o'clock. The procedure was at 9 o'clock, and the class was at 10:45. And I was like, the guy says I'm good. He didn't say, like, he didn't give me any type of, like, warning. He didn't even say, like, don't jack off. He didn't say anything. He just said, like, you're just going to feel maybe a little discomfort, maybe see some blood in your pee, but that's it. No, and he said you did great, whatever. So I'm like, to me, I'm like, if I feel okay.
I'm uncomfortable hearing this story.
No. It's okay. It's okay. So
nervous erection over here.
So I tell myself if I feel okay by 10:30 or so, I'm gonna go and bang this out because it's only a 200-meter row. Like I can do that. I know I can do that like in 20-something seconds.
At no point did this ever sound like a bad idea to you, because this sounds like a terrible idea.
Sounds like a bad idea.
I thought about it and I said, like, if I feel okay, I'm gonna do it. The doctor didn't say anything. Like, don't do anything. Like, he didn't give me any restriction whatsoever. So I felt like it didn't feel good when I peed. That's for sure. It felt like
Sure.
I was fucking pissing fire, basically. Like, yeah, I ate hot wings. I drank hot wings, and then they came out, basically.
Right. There's all kinds of inflammation in there.
Yeah, it was bad. But I was feeling really good, and I was feeling good because the doctor gave me the clean bill of health.
Oh yeah,
I got the result. Well, I got the results right. So I got the results right there. So I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking do it. And also, I know how to do this kind of row. Like, I just know there's different type of form for it. I know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna fucking do it. So the class comes. I'm doing. There's some part before it, and I'm doing the class. Everything's going great, and I'm like, all right, it's time for the row. I'm gonna fucking bang it out, right? So she counts it down, start rowing, and I push real hard, real good. Like, I'm going really well. And because, you see your watts, like 700 something watts is a lot. But
I'm waiting. I'm
the
waiting
rower,
for the shoe. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop.
The rower starts moving forward as I'm pulling back. I'm going so fast and good that the rower, every time I pull, the rower is moving up like 2 inches or 3 inches. Now, I'm not like a science man, but I can figure out right then and there that I'm losing some power and there's no way that I'm going to like beat any score because I'm fucking literally moving the rower. Right, Chip? I mean, you're the engineer here.
Yeah, it doesn't
sound like I'm going to win.
It doesn't sound like you're going to win.
So the coach comes over and like eventually, like after I've already moved like 6 inches, and she puts her foot on the thing to try to hold it down, but I'm like defeated because obviously I'm fucked already. So I was like, there's another run after this. You get to do one like 10, 15 minutes later. Part 2, I was like, I'm just going to do that. Like, can you just hold it down from the beginning this time? I didn't get hurt. I'm sorry to disappoint anybody. I didn't get hurt. But on the second time, she held it down. I didn't do as well the first time because I was already tired. But I did get my personal best. And I did get the best score, the best time in the entire
I was waiting for you to say, and then I peed myself.
No, then I continued to pee like I was pissing out fire for the rest of the day.
Okay, just one day though. That's not so bad.
No, it was not even the whole day. By night, I was okay.
Well, I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad that you're okay.
Number 1 on the leaderboard. Didn't faint. Well, 1 out of the 2 times I didn't faint, and it all worked out. That's all. It had a happy story. I wasn't gonna blow out like my testes or something like that.
And that's how I lost the testicle.
Trust me, I'm a big pussy. Like, if I thought like I shouldn't be doing something, I'm gonna err on the side of I'm not doing that. I feel
like there was a golden opportunity to like be waited on by family members for this one.
I had to, no, come on.
I'm just saying.
Waited on, like what? They're all, Mrs. Cheapy's at work and Ty's at school.
Maybe she would have brought you home like some matzo ball soup or something.
I don't need that shit.
I don't know.
Right. I did 27 seconds, by the way. Oh, but here's the most ridiculous part of this story is that
There
whatever
can't
they
be a most ridiculous
I know.
part that you haven't said.
right, it's really not. But
Don't oversell it.
they changed like the little computer that's on top of the rowing machine. You know that counts that like collects your fucking time, and it doesn't collect anything to the right of the decimal point. Which like in rowing, it all comes down. I mean, on a 200-meter row, that comes down.
I stand corrected. That is more ridiculous than you having a camera shoved in your penis. You know what? I didn't think you could top that.
I still beat everybody by 2 seconds. It didn't matter. It didn't come down to that. But it was. I was gonna say something, but I don't know. I didn't want to be a Karen. I was already a Karen because I said, you know, there used to be a coat rack there, and the coat rack disappeared. And I asked the manager, "Is the coat rack coming back?" And what do you think her answer was?
No.
Right, with no explanation. And I was like, I guess I'm not supposed to ask about the coat rack? I don't know.
No, you lunatic.
I mean, am I supposed to read between the lines that like somebody got their coat stolen, or
who shoved a camera in this guy's pee hole?
that was a few days before, so I didn't want to mention anything about the rowing computers. But yeah, I was like, shit. I'm like, she's like, yeah, just put your jacket in your locker. And I was like, well, I mean, if it's like raining out, it's not great. But anyway, I didn't say anything. Just kept my opinions to myself. Anyway, should we do some show feedback?
Oh yeah, I forgot we were doing a show.
Is the show over?
It might be. I don't know where to go with this. So Sinful Fate said that Wombat is right. The offer is excellent. The reason I put this comment on the show, not just because, you know, I like being right, the offer is in fact excellent, is how annoying it is that there's 900 streaming systems and that you'll probably never see this show. And I think you would really enjoy it.
I already forgot what it's about.
It's about the making of The Godfather.
I remember now.
Yes.
You're right. It's on Paramount, right?
Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus.
One day they'll have a show that I'll just have to buy in for, but I don't think they have it yet.
No, they don't have it yet.
Although
getting better. Paramount Plus is getting better.
It's got that Sylvester Stallone show.
It does. It has lots of Star Trek stuff on it, and it has a lot of old man shows. I only
That's also a Star Trek, isn't it?
Yeah, it's also a Star Trek. Old man shows. I know.
Right.
My father, it's like my father's favorite streaming service. So yeah, it all checks.
Right. One day.
Mm-hmm. And this is when I like this comment because I actually listened to the clip. Dalton DiMartino had to say, I was just listening to podcast number 134.
Why?
That's weird in itself. And Cheapy just said, there's no way we will be doing the CAGcast in 2022/2023. Just thought that was funny. Someone actually asks on the show if they see us on CAGcast 134. One of the CAGback questions was, do you think you'll be doing the show 15 years from now? And here we are more than 15 years from now still doing the show. But you very pointedly said, there is no way we will be doing this show in 15 years.
I said 15 years or 2022, 2023?
You didn't say 2022, 2023, but it was 15 years ago. You said, there's no way we'll be doing this show in 15 years.
But technically, I think I have to the end of this year to be correct.
I think so.
Okay,
maybe.
Cool.
Maybe, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
I know. Okay.
I didn't hear the clip, but I believe that I said that.
I know you did say
it is
that.
Funny.
It is
funny.
Yes.
Chanafan made that a classic clip. I saw. I think
he did.
Chanafan is on it.
Yep.
I don't know what he's on, but
that's how I listened to it because I wasn't going to go to the episode and check it out myself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.